Hey dudes and dudettes, I'm Derek with GameSomniac, and welcome to another episode of the Gamers Initiative, a gaming podcast for the gaming elite. On today's mini-episode, I'm going to explain the inclusion of Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in Mortal Kombat X's Combat Pack number 2. Now, a lot of people have been covering this. I know Super and Dynasty have both done videos on Combat Pack number 2, but like everyone else who has covered Leatherface specifically, they've offered their theories on why he was included, but haven't made the connection between Leatherface and an additional DLC character already added to the game, thus missing a huge reasonable explanation as to why Leatherface made it into the game. So looking at the current roster, we have two horror icons from Combat Pack number 1, which are none other than Jason Voorhees and Predator. Now back in the day, Leatherface had an all-out hardcore street fight with one of these two villains. And as cool as the idea of Predator and Leatherface battling it out is, Leatherface actually feuded with Jason in a 3-part comic miniseries. Topps Comics released Jason vs. Leatherface in the 90s. Written by Nancy Collins, the story included the two famous horror icons stepping toe-to-toe with each other after an unforeseeable introduction, to say the least. The comic had a series of undertones relating to domestic abuse, bullying, etc. And the cool thing about it is it made Jason the anti-hero. After their first fight, Jason actually joins Leatherface and his brother. Jason's then introduced to their secluded lifestyle of cannibalism and murder. Jason watches Leatherface over this period of time. He watches him get bullied and beaten by his brother, to which Jason relates to having an abusive stepfather when he was a child. After seeing this go on and on, Jason finally attacks the brother to punish him for what he's been doing to Leatherface. Unfortunately for Jason, Leatherface comes to the aid of his brother, thus confronting Jason again in an all-out battle. The series was pretty fucking awesome, and its only downfall in my opinion was that it was only 3 issues. But this now gives us a more plausible reason for having Leatherface in the game. I mean, I kept reading online after its release that it would have made more sense that they bring Freddy back since he feuded with Jason, but what a lot of people don't know is Jason's a bit of a whore. He's feuded with a lot of people over the years, and comic books are a whole other world on their own, but in relation to these kinds of characters, I do believe that everything from film to literature is completely canon and is able to be justifiably used for said figures appearing and existing in other forms of media. So, in closing, Leatherface is coming back to finish what he started all those years ago. For once again, the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on Friday the 13th. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on the matter. I think that Ed Boon wanted to... Either Ed Boon's a fan of the comic series, or somebody at NetherRealm Studios is a fan of the comic series and thought it'd be cool to have him in there. Or maybe Super and Dynasty are onto something. Maybe WB, who owns New Line Cinema, wanted to throw more horror icons in there for, you know, the attention grabbing or the to diversify the audience of Mortal Kombat. But in my opinion, because it was Leatherface and not like Michael Myers or Pinhead or somebody, because it was specifically Leatherface having Jason already on the roster, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this comic had something to do with that. So that's my whole 2 cents about it. But be sure to check out our next video, which will cover the MK universe as it is, as it was, and where the future lies for Mortal Kombat, and what Ed Boon's got planned for MKX. He keeps talking about this long-term plan. Right now, the DLC for the game seems to only be combat packs, different DLC characters. So I'm going to talk about some recent articles he's released about what he's got planned for MKX and the future of Mortal Kombat. So please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you like what we're doing, please consider showing your support on Patreon so that we can keep this thing going strong. Links to the site and more in the description below. I am Derek with GameSomniac, bringing you the Gamers Initiative, a gaming podcast for the gaming elite. Take it easy, guys.